Don't waste another year. Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about something that weighs heavily on many of our hearts as we flip the calendar page, watch the seasons change, or even sit in quiet reflection. Time, how often do we find ourselves saying next year will be different? How often do we promise ourselves that we'll finally chase that dream, start that project, heal that relationship, or even let it go? And yet somehow the days slip through our fingers and we find ourselves staring at the same old patterns, wondering where the time went. This year, let's choose to make a change. Let's decide right here and now that this year will not be another carbon copy of the last. Because let me tell you something. The time we waste is the opportunity we miss, and we owe it to ourselves to live fully, boldly, and unapologetically. Let's explore 7 powerful ways to ensure we don't waste another year. Stop postponing your dreams. Take the first step today. Let me ask you something. How long have you been carrying that dream inside you? That vision, that calling, that quiet whisper in your soul that keeps nudging you every time you're alone with your thoughts. You know what I'm talking about? The book you've always wanted to write. The business idea that lights a fire in your heart, the career you've dreamed of pursuing, or maybe even the life-changing journey you've been putting off. And yet it's still just that, a dream. Why? Why do we hold our dreams hostage to someday? Why do we convince ourselves that we're not ready, that we need more time, more money, or more validation from others? Let me tell you something. Someday is not a day on the calendar. It's a myth we use to protect ourselves from the discomfort of starting. And the truth is, the perfect moment to begin doesn't exist. The stars won't align. The fear won't completely disappear. The people around you may not fully understand or support you. And that's okay, because dreams don't wait. They don't stand still, patiently waiting for you to find the courage to pursue them. They grow quieter the longer you ignore them. And eventually, if you're not careful, they can fade. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Start when the kids are older, or I just need to save a little more money, or what if I fail? But here's the thing. Every dream worth chasing comes with a risk. There will always be reasons to delay, but the clock is ticking. Each day you postpone, you're not only putting off your dream, you're also putting off the life you were meant to live. And here's what I've learned. It's not about leaping straight to the finish line. You don't have to see the entire staircase to take the first step. That first step might be messy. It might be scary. It might feel small and insignificant. But I promise you this, it is everything. Taking the first step sends a powerful message, not just to the world, but to yourself. It's you saying, I believe in me. It's you choosing action over excuses, courage over fear, and possibility over doubt. Think about it. Every great achievement, every extraordinary story of success started with one small, imperfect step. Oprah didn't become Oprah in a day. The greatest authors, innovators, and change makers of our time began where you are right now, at the edge of uncertainty. So start small if you need to. Write the first page, take that class, send the email, and make the call, whatever your dream requires. Start with what you have and where you are, because once you begin, you'll notice something miraculous, momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence silences fear. And fear, my friends, has no power over a soul in motion. Your dreams are worth it. You are worth it. And this moment, it's the perfect time to begin. Embrace change. Let go of what's holding you back. Change is one of life's most challenging teachers, isn't it? It disrupts our comfort, challenges our routines, and forces us to confront parts of ourselves we'd often rather avoid. But let me tell you this, nothing, absolutely nothing, grows in a space that remains unchanged. Growth demands movement, and movement requires that we let go of what no longer serves us. Now, letting go sounds simple, doesn't it? Just release the weight and move forward. But in practice, it can feel like tearing pieces of yourself away, leaving you exposed and vulnerable. It's not easy to release the relationships, habits, or mindsets that have become part of your identity, even when they're holding you back. And here's the truth. Holding on to what's comfortable but limiting is like gripping a rope that's burning your hands. The longer you hold on, the more it hurts. And yet we convince ourselves that letting go will hurt even more. Let's talk about why we resist change so much. We resist because we equate familiarity with safety. We tell ourselves that it's better to stay in a mediocre job than to risk pursuing a new opportunity. We cling to toxic relationships because we fear loneliness more than we value peace. We stay small because stepping into the unknown feels like standing on the edge of a cliff, unsure if we'll fall or fly. But let me tell you something about change. It's the only way you discover who you truly are. Change forces you to get honest about what you want, what you deserve, and what you're willing to fight for. It asks you to make a bold declaration to yourself. I am no longer willing to accept less than I am capable of. Think about this. Every caterpillar must let go of its old form to become a butterfly. It doesn't happen without discomfort. That cocoon is tight, it's dark, it's isolating, but that's where transformation happens. And just like the caterpillar, your transformation requires a willingness to release the old version of yourself, to shed the layers that no longer fit who you are becoming. What is holding you back right now? Maybe it's a fear of failure. Maybe it's the opinions of others or a deep-rooted belief that you're not capable or deserving. Perhaps it's anger or resentment that you've been carrying for years. Whatever it is, I want you to recognize this. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean denying what you've been through or the role it played in shaping you. Letting go means choosing freedom over fear, peace over pain, and growth over stagnation. How can you let go? You make room for new opportunities, new relationships, new levels of success, and new dimensions of joy. The energy you've been using to hold onto the past gets redirected toward building your future. The beautiful thing about embracing change is that it doesn't require you to have all the answers. You don't have to know exactly where you're going or how everything will turn out. You just have to be willing. Willing to trust the process even when it's hard. Willing to believe that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. Willing to take the first step, even if it's a small one. Because here's what I know for sure. The life you want, the life you deserve is on the other side of change. It's waiting for you, but you have to be brave enough to let go of what's holding you back. Are you ready? Invest in yourself. The best return comes from within. When was the last time you truly invested in yourself? And I don't mean treating yourself to something nice or taking a day off. Though they're important too. I'm talking about the kind of investment that transforms you, the type that requires your time, energy, and focus. The kind of investment that says, I am worthy of becoming the best version of myself. So many of us have been conditioned to believe that investing in ourselves is selfish. We pour into everyone else, our families, our friends, our jobs, but leave ourselves running on empty. And then we wonder why we feel stuck, why we feel like life is passing us by. But here's the truth: you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot show up for the people you love, the dreams you have, or the life you want if you don't first show up for yourself. Investing in yourself is not just a luxury. It is a necessity. Think about it. Your mind, your body, your spirit, these are the engines driving every aspect of your life. If you don't take care of them, if you don't nurture and strengthen them, how can you expect to move forward? How can you expect to thrive? Let's break this down. What does investing in yourself actually look like? It starts with your mindset. Your thoughts create your reality, and if you're constantly feeding yourself doubt, fear, or negativity, how can you expect to succeed? Investing in your mindset means dedicating time to learning, to growth, to expanding what you believe is possible for yourself. It might mean reading books that inspire you, listening to voices that uplift you, or surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to be better. Then there's your time. How are you spending it? Are you using it to move closer to your goals, or are you letting it slip away on things that don't truly matter? Time is the one resource we can't get back. When you invest your time wisely, whether it's in building a skill, working on your health, or simply resting when you need it, you are making a statement about what you value. And let's not forget your energy. Protecting your energy is one of the most powerful investments you can make. That might mean setting boundaries, saying no to things that drain you, or walking away from relationships that no longer align with the person you're becoming. Your energy is sacred, and where you direct it determines what grows in your life. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I don't have the time, or I can't afford to invest in myself right now. But let me tell you this: you can't afford not to. The best investments don't always cost money. They require intention. They require commitment. They require you to believe that you are worth it, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. Think about this. If you were to invest in a stock or a business, you'd want to put your resources into something with a high return, right? Something with potential, with promise. Well, there is no better investment than you. You are your most valuable asset. The returns on investing in yourself ripple into every area of your life: your relationships, your career, your health, your happiness. And let's be real. When you grow, the people around you grow too. Your courage inspires others. Your willingness to bet on yourself gives them permission to do the same. Investing in yourself is not just an act of self-love. It's an act of leadership. It's you saying, I'm ready to become the person I was created to be. So whether it's waking up a little earlier to work on your dreams, spending time in prayer or meditation to center your spirit, or taking a class to expand your skills, make that investment. Show up for yourself every single day, because the life you want doesn't just happen. It's built step by step by the choices you make. And let me tell you this: when you choose to invest in yourself, you are choosing possibility over limitation. You are choosing abundance over scarcity. You are choosing a future that reflects your highest potential. Prioritize meaningful connections, relationships that enrich your life. The truth is, our relationships shape us in ways we often don't even realize. They influence how we see the world, how we see ourselves, and ultimately how far we can go in life. That's why it's so important to prioritize meaningful connections, the kind that uplift, inspire, and push you to be better, not the ones that weigh you down or keep you small. Now, let's get real. Too many of us spend precious time maintaining relationships out of obligation rather than authenticity. We hold on to people because we've known them forever, because we're afraid to hurt their feelings, or because we don't want to be alone. But let me tell you something. You cannot afford to give your energy to people who don't value it. Your time, your love, your presence, these are gifts, and they deserve to be treated as such. Confront fear head on fear is the barrier to your breakthrough. Fear, just saying the word can make your chest tighten, can it? Fear has this way of creeping into our minds and whispering, what if you fail? What if you fail? What if you're not good enough? What if they laugh at you? What if it all falls apart? It's relentless, isn't it? But here's the truth about fear. It is the greatest thief of potential. It robs you of your confidence, your dreams, and your ability to step into the life you were meant to live. Now, let's get real about fear. Fear isn't the enemy, it's a natural response. It's your brain trying to protect you from discomfort, from rejection, from the unknown. But too often we allow fear to overstay its welcome. We give it the keys to our decisions, let it dictate our actions, and before we know it, we're stuck living smaller, playing safer, settling for less than we deserve. I know what it feels like to let fear take the wheel. It tells you to stay in that job you've outgrown because starting over is too risky. It tells you not to speak up in the meeting because your idea might not be good enough. It tells you to keep your dreams locked away because trying and failing feels scarier than not trying at all. But let me tell you, this fear only has power over you if you let it. To create the breakthrough you've been longing for, you have to confront fear head on. You have to call it out for what it is, a barrier, not a brick wall. Fear is not permanent, it's temporary. It's not a stop sign, it's a hurdle. And hurdles are meant to be jumped over. The first step in confronting fear is recognizing it. Sometimes fear disguises itself as practicality. I'm just being realistic, you might say. Or it shows up as procrastination. I'll start next week, next year, when I'm ready. But when you strip away the excuses, what's really underneath? Fear. Fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. Once you name your fear, you can start to dismantle it. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Seriously, take a moment and imagine the absolute worst case scenario. Will it destroy you? Will it end your journey? Most of the time, the answer is no. You might stumble, you might feel embarrassed, you might need to try again, but you'll survive. And often the fear of what might happen is far greater than the reality of what does happen. Now, here's the key. You don't need to eliminate fear to move forward. You just need to act in spite of it. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision that something else, your dream, your purpose, your breakthrough is more important. Every time you take a step toward what scares you, the fear shrinks a little. The voice gets quieter. The grip loosens. And let me remind you of this: fear is not fact. It's a feeling. It's your mind creating scenarios that haven't even happened yet. But you have the power to write a different story. Instead of imagining failure, imagine success. Instead of picturing rejection, picture acceptance. Replace what if I fall with what if I fly. When you confront fear head on, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself that you are bigger than your doubts, stronger than your insecurities, and braver than you've ever given yourself credit for. Fear will always try to show up, but you get to decide whether it sits in the passenger seat or takes the wheel. Your breakthrough is on the other side of fear. It's waiting for you, calling to you, daring you to take the first step. So face the fear, feel the fear, and move forward anyway. Because when you do, you'll realize that fear wasn't the giant you thought it was just a shadow. And you're the light. set intentions, not just goals. Live with purpose every day. Let's start with a question. What is guiding your days? Are you moving through life with a clear sense of who you are and what you want, or are you simply checking off boxes, crossing items off a to-do list, and hoping it all adds up to something meaningful? So often we set goals without connecting them to our deeper why. We say, I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to make 6 figures, or I want to buy a house, but we never stop to ask ourselves, what does this really mean to me? Why do I want this? Without intention, even when we reach those goals, we can find ourselves feeling empty, unfulfilled, or asking what's next. Living with intention means starting every day with clarity about what truly matters to you. It's not just about achieving something, it's about aligning your actions with your values. It's about making choices that reflect the life you want to create, not just the life you've been handed. Now let's get practical. How do you set intentions, and how is it different from setting goals? Goals are external. They're about outcomes, achieving a promotion, saving a certain amount of money, or hitting a fitness target. Intentions, on the other hand, are internal. They're about how you want to feel and who you want to become in the process. Goals focus on the what, but intentions focus on the why and the how. For example, instead of saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, an intention might be, I want to nurture my body with love and care every day. Instead of saying, I want to get promoted, an intention could be, I want to show up at work with confidence and contribute to something meaningful. Do you see the difference? Goals give you something to achieve, but intentions give your actions meaning. When you set an intention, you create a powerful ripple effect in your life. You start to notice the choices you make, the energy you bring, and the way you show up. Intentions act as an anchor, especially when life gets overwhelming. When things don't go as planned, because let's be honest, they rarely do. Your intention reminds you of what truly matters and keeps you grounded. Let me give you an example. Think about the goal of being more productive. Productivity is a great thing, but if you're not careful, it can turn into a never-ending race to do more, achieve more, and be more without stopping to ask why. But when you set the intention to spend my time on what matters most to me, suddenly productivity takes on a whole new meaning. It's no longer about checking off tasks. It's about creating a life that feels aligned with your values. And here's the beautiful thing about intentions: they are fluid and forgiving. Unlike goals, which can feel rigid or unattainable, intentions give you room to grow and evolve. If you fall short of a goal, you might feel like you failed. But with an intention, every small step you take in alignment with your purpose is a success. It's about progress, not perfection. Living with intention requires you to slow down and listen to yourself. It's about taking a moment every morning, every evening, or even in the middle of the day to ask, what do I want this moment to be about? How do I want to show up? What energy do I want to bring into this space? When you live with intention, you move through life with a sense of purpose that no external achievement can give you. You start to realize that the journey is just as important as the destination. You become more present, more mindful, and more connected to your own power. So set the goals, yes, dream big and work hard. But before you do, take a step back and set an intention. Because when you align your goals with your intentions, you're not just chasing success, you're creating a life that feels meaningful, purposeful, and deeply true to who you are. Celebrate your wins. Progress is worth acknowledging. When was the last time you truly celebrated yourself? Not for the big, life-altering achievements, but for the small victories, the quiet progress, the everyday moments when you chose to keep going, even when it wasn't easy. When did you last pause and say, I'm proud of me? We live in a culture that glorifies the finish line. We're taught to measure success by grand milestones, graduations, promotions, weddings, big purchases. And while those moments are worthy of celebration, they're not the whole story. The truth is, the life-changing transformations happen in the in-between moments. They happen in the daily grind, in the small, consistent steps you take toward becoming the person you're meant to be. Celebrating your wins, big and small, is not just about giving yourself a pat on the back. It's about acknowledging your progress and affirming your ability to grow, to persevere, and to show up for yourself. It's about saying to yourself, look at what I've done, look at how far I've come. I am capable of so much more. But here's the thing, too often we dismiss our accomplishments. We downplay our progress because it doesn't feel big enough. We say, sure, I did that, but it's not a big deal, or yeah, I accomplished this, but I still have so much left to do. Sound familiar? Let me tell you something, every step forward, no matter how small, deserves to be honored. Why? Because progress is not guaranteed. Showing up for your life every day is not guaranteed. Choosing to work toward your dreams, to push through fear, to try again after failure, those things are not guaranteed. They take effort, courage, and resilience. And if you're doing those things, even in the smallest ways, you deserve to celebrate that. Now, let's break this down. Celebrating your wins doesn't mean throwing a party for every accomplishment, although if that's your thing, go for it. It's about taking a moment to recognize your effort, to feel proud of yourself, and to let that pride fuel your next steps. Start by reframing what you consider a win is not just landing the dream job or finishing the marathon. A win is sending out that first job application. A win is lacing up your sneakers and going for a 10-minute walk when you didn't feel like it. A win is choosing to have a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. A win is saying no to something that doesn't align with your values. And here's the secret: when you learn to celebrate the small wins, the big ones become even sweeter. Why? Because you've built a habit of gratitude. You've trained yourself to see the good, to find joy in the journey, and to appreciate the process as much as the outcome. Celebrating your wins also reinforces a mindset of abundance. It shifts your focus from what you haven't done to what you have done. And that shift is powerful. It creates momentum. It builds confidence. It reminds you that you are capable of creating change in your life one step at a time. Let me give you an example. Think about a flower growing in a garden. You don't wait until it's fully bloomed to admire it, do you? No, you celebrate every stage, the first sprout breaking through the soil, the tiny bud forming, the petals beginning to unfold. You honor the process because every stage is part of the miracle. Your progress is no different. So how do you celebrate your wins? It can be as simple as writing them down in a journal. At the end of the day, 3 things you did well, no matter how small. It can be treating yourself to something you enjoy, like a walk in the park or a cup of your favorite coffee. It can be calling a friend and sharing your progress with someone who will cheer you on. And let me say this, don't wait for others to validate your wins. Sometimes people won't notice the effort you're putting in. They won't see the late nights, the hard choices, the inner battles you've overcome. But that doesn't make your progress any less worthy of celebration. You don't need anyone else's approval to celebrate yourself. Every time you acknowledge your progress, you're telling yourself, I see you, I honor you, I believe in you. That belief is what will carry you through the tough days. It's what will keep you moving forward when the finish line feels far away. Your journey is yours alone, and every step you take is worth celebrating. So don't rush past your progress. Don't diminish your efforts. Take a moment right now to look back at how far you've come. You're doing the work, you're making it happen, and that is worth celebrating. As we stand at the threshold of another year, let me leave you with this: time waits for no one. The days, weeks, and months will pass, whether you use them to their fullest or let them slip away. The power to create the life you desire lies in your hands, your choices, and your willingness to act starting today. Stop postponing your dreams. Take that first step now. Embrace change and let go of what no longer serves you, for growth requires shedding the old. Invest in yourself, mind, body, and spirit, because you are your greatest asset. Prioritize relationships that uplift and enrich your journey, surrounding yourself with people who celebrate your wins and encourage your growth. Confront your fears, because your breakthrough lies just beyond them. Set intentions that align with your purpose, infusing every action with meaning and clarity. And don't forget to celebrate every small victory, every moment of progress, because those are the building blocks of a fulfilling, purposeful life. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. You have everything you need within you to create a life that feels authentic, joyful, and aligned with your highest self. So go ahead, take the leap, dream bigger, act boldly, and trust in your own power. Don't waste another year waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is now. And as you move forward, remember this: every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you are destined to be. Go claim your breakthrough. It's waiting for you.